All right, game one, Ilios. Let's get going.
Ready for battle.
I'm excited to see Fleta versus Eileen and DM versus Happy. I feel like from watching the previous matches leading up to this, the Fearless Void Rio Krong kind of tank line is pretty even. They both do a lot of work. Arguably, Rio focuses a bit more on his Halt usage to set up Eileen, whereas Fearless and Fleta haven't been doing that as much. I think Ligia Gon has been very, very good. Chara I haven't noticed as much. And Ziek and Shu have both been good, but maybe Shu was a little bit better. I think that, generally speaking though, the tanks and the supports are both pretty solid for both of these teams, although, you know, strengths in slightly different places. But if I was to guess coming into this match, my focus, my pre-match analysis would have been on whether Fleta and Eileen can play the Genji to an elite level, and who will win the long-range battle between Happy and DM. Whoever wins the long-range battle is gonna change the tide of the series, I think, assuming they both play a lot of it. But of course, the Genji is really the focal part of the composition. And so far, I haven't really been impressed with that many of the APAC teams at setting their Genjis up in the best position. I think the Charge has probably been the best. Dragons are a little bit tentative with Fleta. Eileen plays that more EQO style of punishing people as they go aggressive. So let's see. We've got a mirror battle to start out. Shu this time is playing against an enemy Widowmaker, so he doesn't quite have the opportunities to go for the same kind of stuff. That's a nice Halt coming out from this side.
The objective is now active.
Eileen taking quite a bit of damage up top. Happy with his aggressive positioning as well. The main fight is happening around at this kind of place. And DM with the opening pick onto Shu, huge. Shu, when he played against New York, basically had no worries when he was playing on Ilios, because Nene was on the Tracer. But this time he strays into the DM sightlines. DM picks his head off. And DM has just been great so far in this tournament. But they lose every map in this final where they play him. Is it his fault? I can't really believe that it would be his fault. I think it must be to do with the comps that they're playing and something else on the Dragons. But hey, maybe he gets boomed by Happy. Let's see. Another fairly nice Halt onto Void. Another decent one coming out from Fearless as well. Does a little bit of chip damage. I'm worried about Eileen's positioning. Eileen has got in very deep here without Fleta really punishing him whatsoever. And Fleta just absolutely planking in the Genji 1v1. Eileen ruined him. And that's a tragedy. You can't really function for long without your Genji. Let's take a look at that again, though. Because I feel like this is going to be an important theme. Fleta playing kind of passive. Doesn't have his armor pack on him. DJ gone a long way away. Not really focused on Fleta at all. And Fleta, the last one to disengage from this position, just gets picked off. Not the same level of synergy. Not the same level of care from Li Jigon onto Fleta as there is from Chara onto Eileen, perhaps. DM kills Happy again. Or not again. That's the first time that that's... Wait a second. DM kills Happy. What I meant was DM gets another kill. That's why I said again. But he kills Happy for the first time. Oh. Just by flanking him. Aggressive flank to go for, though. Eileen does punish. But remember, this is all the same fight where Fleta died early, so... Outside of that Sig 9, the Dragons were actually doing a good job at holding on there. A solo flux onto Chara. Actually quite nice. But here comes Eileen. Oh, great shutdown. Great shutdown. Fleta gets out of there, comes back in. What a wonderful play from the Dragons. Really nice. Heads up play by Void, realizing that you could turn that fight just by getting a solo flex on Chara, who wasn't with the rest of his team and was half health. How did Void die? I don't know how Void died. Let's have a look. Just kind of goes into the rest of the team. He's assuming he won't get chased all the way out. I mean, these players are going to get mopped up. Surely Krong doesn't stay alive here. No. So, it doesn't really matter at the end of it. Like, Void's going to respawn before Krong does anyway, so the fact that Krong chased for the kill is whatever, you know? Okay, so far, Fleta got ruined in the neutral Genji 1v1 when Eileen tried to push the flank. But Fleta did have a very good shutdown on Eileen's blade. And now it's Fleta's turn to go aggressive. Saves the dash. Dashes in. Gets bashed and rocked. Really nice coordination from Chara and Krong again. Eileen weak, but managed to get out. The rally doing a lot of work there. Dragons still have all the control over the positioning, but Fearless... Was that a whip shot from Chara? Gets booped miles away from where he would have liked to be. And they're going to reset. Oh, Void is so aggressive. This is not a good position for Void to be in, I think. He's just going to get out, but it forces the immortality field to be used. And now Fleta's weak, trying to help Void get out of the position. Oh, another whip shot from Chara. Chara low-key carrying that fight, actually. DM with a great kill. DM seems to have had more impact than Happy in this first round. But Charge are going to take over the fight. And Happy wins the 1v1 towards the end. Yeah, this is the first map. I don't think it was to do with DM at all, KNK. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out why they lost, but my inclination is because they're uncomfortable playing around Fleta's Genji. This is such a horrible map to observe with free cam. Eileen immediately taken out. Let's take a look at this. This is almost exactly the same way that Fleta got taken out at the beginning of the round. Eileen going back up to a top position up here. Oh, the rock. The rock is absolutely beautiful from Void. Absolutely beautiful. And Void is just trying to ram himself into the backline. Void somehow manages to avoid getting lifted up there. And hits a rock on Krong. Void is having a fucking hell of a first round, by the way. Wow, 99% and Happy kills DM the first, oh no, the second time that he's won that 1v1. And Eileen is got a blade. Actually gets quite a bit done, him and the rest of his team. Wow, wow, wow. Check how he got hit by that. What, Void, you mean? I've no idea. I don't understand. Oh no, and he didn't rock him actually. He didn't rock him out of it. He just hit the rock at the top. I guess it works via LOS and he was like round the corner or something. It's kind of weird though. I didn't think the ult worked on LOS though. I thought it was just an AoE. I didn't even know that it worked on LOS. It works on LOS based on the black circle that appears. I didn't even know. I mean, I thought it was just a straight up AoE based on where the thing is, you know? I mean, I must be wrong, otherwise... Yeah, so like, he's put the center, I guess, right there. And he's on the other side of the door frame, so it doesn't hit him. Huh. It's kind of a weird way for that ult to work. I definitely don't play Sigma. No, it's not LOS from the Sigma, it's LOS from the middle of the circle. Presumably. Thank you for the 4 gifted subs, brother. 251. Just like male? Yeah, I suppose. Still eating? Hell yeah, I've got a whole pack of Pringles. Why not? Alright, so nice play by Happy to win the... He wins the 1v1 against DM. And then Eileen gets a blade off. Faster than Fleta was able to build his. You look at the ults that the Dragons are working with here. I think you could argue that even though Void has had a really good first round, he's just played too over-aggressive. And I think this is quite a... If anyone should be playing aggressive, you should be allowing Fleta to play aggressive so that he builds up the blades. You shouldn't be trying to play aggressive with your tanks, like in other metas, you know? I think the tanks are the carry players for the Dragons, and they are struggling to give up that role in order to empower Fleta. Oh my god, what a halt. What a halt from Rio. Void had already used his shield as well. Blade comes out from Fleta, over towards the side. And they just... What? They just don't touch? What the fuck? You gotta be kidding me. Okay, Blade is happening over on the side here. Absolutely could have killed Eileen and Krong. On this side of the map, Fearless decides that he probably doesn't need to touch the point. It's touching the points for losers. That is one of the largest team failures I've watched in a long time. That is a very classic Shang 9. I'm not going to say that the Shanghai Dragons were going to win that fight, but they had a good chance of winning that fight. Well, that's a fucking throw to start things off. I know he's waiting for shield, but what? Oh yeah, no, guys, he definitely should have waited for shield. He had Fortify on. He should have just touched the point for a moment to reset his thingy. I mean, he was scared of Happy, because Happy's got the sightline on him, but you got to take the risk. What would you rather do, lose or maybe lose? I would rather maybe lose. Benchmob, thank you for the 7 months. Thank you very much for the kind words as well. I felt like we... had a great match. It was a lot of fun to cast. I think it's both immense score. I think partly it's to do with Fleta being a bit too cautious. And partly it's to do with the Dragons' tanks not sacrificing themselves and their hero pools and their positioning in order to empower Fleta. Alright, DM versus Happy on this. I mean, could you ask for a better Widow 1v1? Maybe throw Ants in there as well. But DM Happy is what dreams are made of when it comes to Widow 1v1s. Dragons are focusing more on the point, whereas the Charge are focusing more on the high ground. Don't know whether DM knows quite where Happy is. And Rio is now wrapped around, so they're trying to take control of the point. Nice shot from Happy. Take a look at that from Happy's POV. Happy's got more control of the area. He knows exactly where DM is. Nice shot. Halt headshots are also a favorite tool of the Guangzhou charge. Just because Happy's so good. You can just turn him into a win every time. In the middle of that fight, Fleta builds 50% blade. Eileen builds 77. It's quite a large advantage. You would normally expect the Genji that actually wins the team fight to be ahead, but even so. The fight lasted for a long time, so I thought Fleta would be a little further along than that. Happy back on the Widow. Popped in for sight. Halt. Looking for the halt headshot again, I think. DM miles away from his infra sight at this point. Happy's just had really nice angles where he can do so much work. Eileen is still not getting involved in these halts like Sparkle would be. He's playing more like EQO off on the side. Another great rock from Void. And wait a second, what happened there? As soon as I go off Happy's POV, cool shit occurs. Was that Fleta just playing around on the flank? No, Fleta's with them. Fleta's with the rest of his team right now. Goes up to a high ground position. DM spots him. Nice headshots. Lot of damage there onto Fearless. Oof. And Fleta has worked his way around the side to dash him, but Fearless has already gone down. Gotta say, that would usually be an advantage for the Guangzhou charge, but Fleta's in position to fuck. They're not helping Void at all, though. I mean, you have to win that fight. You can't just be happy that you captured the point. Immortality Field missed him as well. Nice punish on Eileen, though. Lijigon is so good at Brig. Genuinely so good at Brig. And the Dragons end up winning that engagement. I'm so surprised that the Dragons win that engagement, actually. But they totally fucked up Eileen's blade. I mean, for starters, that's a great rock, but that was before any of that happened. Eileen is trying to punish Fleta just for a moment. Oh, the Immortality Field didn't miss. It was designed to keep Izzyaki alive. It was a selfish one. Oh, he gets whip shot away. Whip shot away by Li Jaegon. And then Li Jaegon just pops the rally and he's like, you ain't getting away from me. And annihilates him. Oh, what a play by Li Jaegon. What defines a better Brig? Is it just positioning? Mostly positioning. Awareness as well. Of like, when your Genji's in danger, when you need to keep line of sight on him. When there's going to be a threat from the enemy team that you need to save your whip shot and your bash for. Your like awareness of opportunities to rally and turn a fight as well. Inspire uptime, just being able to keep that online at all times, but that's based on positioning and cooldown usage as well. It can sound quite simple, but there's a lot that goes into playing it, I think, in this comp. And it's highly impactful as well. It's like genuinely a role that you can carry on a bit like goats again. Great play onto Happy. And now DM has been opened up a little bit. Gets an angle onto Shu. Kills him through the amp matrix. Through his own amp matrix. And now it's looking like the Dragons are in control. After they shut down that blade from Eileen. I mean, now Dragons have got a bongo blade. I'd love to see them play aggressive with this and not give Charge an opportunity to really set up properly. That's not really how the Dragons have been playing. They've been playing a little more slow, a little more cautious than that. For example, you take a look at Fleta's positioning right now. He doesn't look like he's setting up to go for a huge blade, does he? And he's actually backed off, and they've given the Charge a shit ton of room here to work with. Just respecting Happy's infosight so much. I think if instead they push forwards here, Not now, not once they've given up so much room, but before they even gave up the room, if they had pushed forwards. I think that might have gone better for them. Because now, I mean, they've used... Oh my god, Fearless uses his supercharger outside of the shield as well. And Fleta's so passive. He has a round-winning ultimate in his back pocket. This is going to be such a close fight now. I think it should have been a guaranteed win for the Dragons. Oh, the charge have got all the better position. Oh my god, how do you let that happen to you? That's... Fleta just holds the blade. No. Not a fan of that at all. Not a fan of that at all. You gotta be more proactive. Fearless hard through this fight. He made Izayaki waste lamp on him. Yeah, well, Fearless backed off though, and I don't think that any of the team should have backed off. I think Fearless's positioning was fine. They should have just played aggressive. And instead, they all backed off. Fearless backed off and he took too much damage. There's an Infrasight active. You need to invest Immortality Field. But I don't think, like, Fearless really could have played that better if the plan was to back off. It was just the wrong plan. Well, it's not like Eileen's had the best round in the world either. Multiple blades shut down, but Shanghai are determined to throw this one. DM's hitting shots. Wow, he's just popped... What the fuck? He just popped his in... What the fuck was that? From DM. I know that you got to contest the point, and I know you lost the previous round by contesting the point. But why... Oh, I suppose he actually has to touch because Void and Izayaki have been pushed away. I mean, it's just hopeless at that point, isn't it? Shanghai Dragons threw this round away. Shanghai Dragons threw the previous round away as well. What a bad start for Shanghai. What a really bad start to a series. Am I keeping Shock and Shanghai at the top of your rankings? I mean, that would be my opinion, yes.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
They just both seem to suffer in Genji metas. Haven't said that though. I mean, we might be seeing a Genji meta for a while. But I think for the Dragons, they actually have the personnel. I do believe that Fleta is good enough to be able to play in a meta like this. He just... The whole of the Dragons... too cautious. And they don't set Fleta up for success. Still trying to make their tanks the focal figures. Got to adapt. That's nice. Halt, dash, get 25%. Fleta harasses them from the side. Get up in their business. Interesting that the Dragons choose Hollywood again. I think King's Row is such a good map for them. But then again, it's not a good map if you're not comfortable with the Genji. Or at least it's a dangerous map if you're not comfortable with the Genji. You can make Mayash work, but I don't think it's as good. Or it's pretty even on defense. Nice aggression from Fleta there. They've pushed people off at least. Dash into the back, trying to kill Krong. Really nice. And Fleta as well, doing really well in this 1v1 against Eileen. Oh, except now it's a little more even. What happened there? How did Fearless die? I'm watching this 1v1 that happens to the side. Look at this. Another superb flank from Lee Jae-gon and Void, who are just the fucking... I don't know. The The dynamic duo for the dragons. Dashing on the void and just murder him in an instant. And then this 1v1, Eileen just goes down to tiny, tiny pieces of health. Really should have been killed there, but he was deflecting and being healed. Oh yeah, I still missed what happened with Fearless. What the hell happened with Fearless? Okay, so Fearless is just spamming. Oh my god. He's not getting healed by his Yaki at all. And he doesn't have his shield up either. I don't know where the immortality field was. He had to reload? Just so strange to see this happening. And that shield breaks so quickly because Shu and Happy are both just shooting at it. Whereas Demon and Izayaki are not really trying to break the shield at all. They're just trying to put damage onto Eileen, I think, who's dancing away from them. Wow. Pretty unlucky. He did have immortality field, though. Fleta with the faster blade because he played the beginning of this really well. Can Eileen turn it? That's the question. I think there's a good possibility. Oh, really nice. What a rock from Krong. Avoids the opportunity to go for the players inside the immortality field, which I think is a good idea. Just push them afterwards once it's finished. And a very solid clutch from the Guangzhou charge. The kill on Fearless absolutely helped, but Eileen's blade was pivotal there as well. Alright, here we go. The dragons are now engaging though. Bob goes all the way into the back, and Matrix clears everybody out on the point. This should just be a free take, honestly. Okay. Rally. But Happy goes down. So much positioning here for the dragons. How did they lose this? How could they lose this? Oh my god. Eileen is giving them the runaround. Rio is so weak. Eileen with another blade? Dude, Eileen fucking hard carries this fight. Holy love of God. Eileen hasn't really been a nut so far in this series until... I mean, I suppose this is only the second map. Takes the rally, becomes a raid boss, dashes through them to get infinite health, stunned, but he's still getting healed. Deflect, giving them all the runaround. For whatever reason, the dragons have decided not to play the point. They've decided to try and punish the Genji, which is not going to work. And Eileen is just cutting them to pieces, slicing them to ribbons. Oh, what a huge play by Eileen. That's so nice. They're going to full hold them. They're going to full hold the dragons on their map pick. Literally lapped Fleta. Yeah, absolutely lapped. Eileen playing the Genji so much better.
30 seconds remaining.
Because that was one of those moments where he wasn't really set up by his team. He actually went in to make space for the rest of his team. That was like purely an Eileen play. He was helped, of course. Like Chara was giving him the rally, giving him the armor packs, that kind of stuff. But nobody made space for him. Nobody set him up. He went in and he made his own space. And he distracted the dragons and then got the blade and clutched. That's a huge play. Okay. Oh, great kill onto Krong. Maybe it's not going to be a full hold. Fleta close to his blade as well. Yeah, Chara dead. This should be a capture. Fleta feels like he needs to invest the blade. Kills 2. Nice. Kills Eileen as well. That's very nice. Very nice. Void sets that one up though. Isolating Krong, finding the first pick. And Shanghai Dragons have got control of the high ground. This is crucial. Can they push forwards and deny the other high ground from the charge? Okay, Fleta scouts. He knows where the positioning is of the other team. So he knows that they don't have to really be on that far high ground. Who's pushing the payload all this time as well? DM, yeah. So charge are forced onto the low ground here. Fleta just getting some armor pack healing. They've gone a little weak. Whoa, did we just miss a ridiculous shot from DM? That sounded like the Genji died very close to him. I don't know whether that's true because Eileen is pretty far away right now, but certainly sounded like it. Oh, well, it wasn't that close, but it was a really nice headshot. Great pick. Eileen had no idea that DM was coming around that flank. Not a clue. That should just be an easy teamfight win. It totally is. They're just collapsing on them. Happy kills Izayaki. But that's going to be it. DM so far has had a great tournament.
60 seconds remaining.
It's the rest of the team dropping the ball. Okay, this is a bit of a mistake from the Dragons as well, though, because once Izayaki died, people didn't keep the cart pushing because they were so focused on just taking forward's position. But I think if they'd been on the payload with more than one person at that point, they would have already capped. So they maybe could have avoided this entire team fight. Oh my god, and Eileen's got a clutch. They didn't shut him down at all. They weren't in position. They had no idea that Eileen was going to blade. They were all just clustered around the payload. Oh god.
30 seconds remaining.
Is Eileen's main hero Genji? He played a lot of Genji in Korean Contenders. He played a lot of Widowmaker and Doomfist as well, though. I don't really know what he would consider his main hero to be. But Genji is definitely one of his main heroes, yes. Sorry, I don't mean Korean Contenders, I mean Chinese Contenders. I'm so used to saying Korean because that's where all the good players come from. DM. Kalun Shu. God damn. Nearly just choked on a Pringle. Okay. Well, Dragons nearly threw that one, but pretty clutch plays. Nice picks from Fleta and DM to get them back into it. Oh my god. Oh my lord. Take a look at this. 1 second left. We've got someone on the payload. Happy goes down. DM kills Shu. Oh my god. DM is so consistent. It's absurd. Nice work to set the rest of his team up there, and Happy domes him. But whatever. They got checkpoint B. It would have been nice if Fleta could have held onto his blade. I think he... With hindsight, he definitely could have held onto his blade there. But when you're in overtime trying to capture checkpoint B, you ain't thinking about the next engagement. You're trying to use anything you can. Great pudding, I will at some point.
60 seconds remaining.
Oh my god. The rock into the shurikens by Krong and Eileen. And Fleta heads back to the spawn queue again. Oh.
No one can hide from my sight.
Nice. Again, a little questionable to be focusing so much on the Orisa, but absolutely good blade right when his team needed it. Good hold. Good hold for the charge. If you're a charge fan, you're wishing that they held on checkpoint B instead of giving them all of that room, but basically very good performance the entire way from the Guangzhou charge. Shanghai were forced to clutch in order to even get a reasonable push at all. I don't think Shock is going to pick up Who Are You. I think that would be an absolutely ridiculous pickup, personally. I just don't think it would make sense. The reason being that Who Are You has not been successful for a while. And Krusty tends to focus on taking players that he believes have a lot of potential and working on them, rather than players that have already reached that potential and need to be, like, revitalized up to that level. I think that also they might get scared off by the previous reports of immaturity and the reason that Haxel has been benched or traded from multiple... sorry, not Haxel. Who Are You has been benched or traded from multiple teams in the past. Both Korean and Western. So, I don't know. The Shock does have a history of taking players like that and making them really good people. Again, I mean, really good people, as if they were bad people in the beginning. No one's a bad person just because they're toxic in Overwatch. But they take people that have previously not fit in with rosters for whatever reason, and they ingrain them into the team culture very well. And that applies to both Korean and English-speaking people. But I don't think that Who Are You would be a particularly good fit because Krusty likes to take people that are very moldable, which is why he liked Architect so much, I think. I said no one's a bad person just because they're toxic in Overwatch. A lot of people who are toxic in Overwatch are also bad people. But if your only flaw is that you're toxic in Overwatch, that does not necessarily make you a bad person. Besides which, I think they're more likely to pick up somebody who can play many other heroes as well. Not just the Genji and the Doomfist or whatever Who Are You. I mean, is that the only thing that you would want Who Are You to play on this team? Like, Rascal would cover basically everything else, wouldn't he? Maybe like a sick Hanzo. I don't know whether Ans plays Hanzo. Thoughts on Krusty's stream? He's very funny. He's a very funny guy.
5, 4, 3.
Spark not playing Ado has been kind of dumb in Tracer May Genji metas. Poor Ado.
Defend objective A.
I mean, they have Architect now. Architect is better than Ado at every role, I think, other than maybe Tracer. But it's not like Ado is incredible at the Tracer either. Okay. Charge taking it a little slow here. Considering the flank. Baiting the flank, coming back around the front. Focusing on shield cooldowns, pushing Fearless away with a rock. Oh my god, Happy is weak. They have a little bit of high ground control. Or at least they're denying Dragon's high ground control. Very early Amp Matrix from Shu. That forces out Immortality Field really fast. And Eileen's already at 70% of his blade. Another Halt Rock is pretty good. Does a lot of damage to Fearless and allows them to avoid the Amp Matrix of the Dragons. They can sit back, recharge. Nice play, DM onto Happy. That's pretty sick. And Rio pushes all the way forwards. They just want to collapse on DM right now. But DM is being well protected by the rest of his team. Great collapse from the Dragons. Charge know they have to make a play once Happy goes down, so they try and push deep into the cafe, but it doesn't work, and that's a whole 2 minutes knocked off the clock for the Dragons. This is looking pretty good. Except, Fleta is still miles away from his fucking ult. Not miles away, but he's quite significantly behind Eileen. Void scouting. The Bob coming out really early on. Is Void going to go and pressure that? He normally does. Void into the back kills Happy. The rest of Shanghai need to hold on for a little bit. They do. They weather the storm. And Void continues to be an absolute freak beast over the course of this tournament. Halt Rock, but Krong uses his shield to stop it. And now we get to the period of the fight where the Nana Blades, not the Nana Blades, the Bongo Blades are going to be important. Alright, they have not done any scouting on these players. They do not know that the charge is about to leap around the corner from them. The charge leap around the corner. Void reacts pretty nicely. Force out the Immortality Field. Now would be a great time for Fleta to blade if he can get healed up. But nope, they get massively... Oh my God, he gets ruined. Holy shit. Let's look at Fleta's blade again here. So, Bongo Blade coming out from Fleta. He's weak when he starts it. Gets immediately bashed by Chara. And annihilated by Krong, who's in midair and was about to rock him in the face as well. Oh, I think they're too slow with this kind of stuff. They wait until the charge solidifies before they even attempt to make the push. The Dragons, for whatever reason, in this meta just aren't thinking fast enough. Does something interrupt Void's ult? No, I don't think so. Yeah, and the Bongo died before Fleta hit anyone as well. Like... this would be a great... If Fleta was healthy and blading now, this would be wonderful. But, I mean, the fuck is Fleta doing there? This is because they didn't scout, and they didn't realize that the charge were pushing around the corner. So they got caught unawares. And now Fleta is weak, and even though this would be the perfect time to be blading, with the Immortality Field about to break, it would break in one swipe if he actually decided to break it. And if it breaks in the first swipe, then that's great, because you weren't going to kill anyone in that swipe anyway. Krong would be another Great target. He would be in, killing Krong. But he's got to now just slowly get healed up by armor packs around the side. And he has to use his dash just to get in. Like, he uses a dash to get in and a dash to jump down. It's a fucking car crash. And I think that entire team fight comes down to not scouting the charge correctly around the corner. They just didn't know that they were coming. How hard is it to not swear when casting? Not very hard, actually. It's not like I have a particularly fucking filthy tongue or anything. Gap. Oh, what a shot. They just bought a bit of time by killing Happy. Happy comes back on Widowmaker as well. DM sees a shield in the way and doesn't want any piece of that action. High ground in the meantime has been kind of taken by the Guangzhou charge. And Eileen's managed to flank all the way around the top. With a very quick amp matrix from Shu being one of the largest reasons. Oh, Eileen with the sexy little ghost dash, I think. Woo! Shu is just getting... sorry. Eileen is just getting so much more stuck in than Fleta is. Finding a lot more value. I think that Fleta hasn't quite realized how much you can get away with. It's not like Fleta's been getting punished mid-fight very much. He's been getting punished for going for crazy blades, but he hasn't been getting punished for just playing aggressive to build up his ult. So this isn't really a mid-game adaptation. This is just how Fleta plays. It's not... He seems like he hasn't quite realized what he can get away with. Well, this should be Eileen going for a big blade here. Oh, nice shot from DM. DM has been the shining hope for the Shanghai Dragons, actually. DM has been one of the more consistent players. Watch that shot. Watch what shot from DM? Look at that shot. Look at that shot. He's cheating. Wait, where? Excuse-moi? Is that like through a fucking... Is that through a material that doesn't show up if you are running at low... Oh, yeah, it's like through a fucking curtain. The curtain just doesn't show up if you've got low graphics on, I guess. God, that must have looked crazy on the broadcast.
Next.
It's kind of ridiculous that Overwatch has legitimate competitive advantages to running on low settings. That really is quite bad game design. Like, I feel like these kind of things should be made to either appear or disappear on all settings equally. What, like all games? No. Overwatch has it way worse than a lot of games that I've played, where like entire trees disappear if you have it on low settings. It just opens up way more sightlines. Like there, an entire fucking, like an entire curtain disappears if you run it at low quality. Sikoshiro, thank you for the 10 months. TF2 was nowhere near as bad as this Super Chain. It just made certain things flat. Or like, it got rid of some scrubland grass stuff on the floor and made the floors flat so that you could more easily see things. But it didn't like remove a tree so that you could snipe stuff. I guess it just doesn't matter that much in the grand scale of things because it's such a like team comp brawly game. If this was in a lot of other games though, people would be more than out of control. Can you imagine if this was in CS or Valorant and like if you were just playing at the default settings, you couldn't see through a certain wall. But if you reduce your settings, you were just like able to see a bunch more shit. A bunch of trees just disappeared. Why is the broadcast not in low quality? Because it looks like ass. Because it looks like ass. People play on low all the time for FPS anyway. Yeah, I think that a lot of people do. I don't think that most people do, though. I mean, most people, like your absolute average Andy casual player, probably has never changed the default settings.
Their time is running out.
Probably doesn't even know what they do.
I'm taking damage.
13 seconds left. And we are down to some fucking tasty crunch time here, aren't we? This is a highly winnable map for the Shanghai Dragons here. It's not like they're really close to ults, whereas Chara's close to his rally. But they have an Amp Matrix to work with. If they can find a pick with an Amp Matrix, they've won. Halt. Maybe the halt just the tiniest bit too early there. Oh, they found the pick on Happy. Huge. Oh no, why are you going forwards? You're feeding fucks. I can tell this is going to go wrong. No, 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 no. Stay behind your Amp Matrix. Use the advantages given to you. Gravitic flux them. You are about to feed. I can feel it in my bones. Oh no, they ran away. Okay, thank God. They ran away. Oh, hallelujah. Uh-oh, they all ran into the Amp Matrix. Nope, back it up, back it up, back it up. Nice halt to drag them all forwards from Fearless. But what is, oh no, no, no. Iziaki's immortality field got crushed so quickly. Blade could certainly clutch. Potential for Blade. Fleta to go huge. Ah! So close. That's actually so fucking close. That's a heartbreaker of a map to lose. Wowee. Sad boy hours. Wowee. What a close game. Okay. So that was Hollywood. And we had Ilios, where Shanghai threw away 2 rounds, and then Hollywood that was that close. Yeah, it's been really close so far. That was pretty squeaky bum time, honestly. Okay, DM is still in. And it is the charge on defense.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
If Lip plays, they win. I don't think so for those 2 maps. Those first 2 maps, no way. DM was better than I would have expected Lip to be. So I don't think if Lip plays the first 2 games, it makes any difference. I think they need to look at Fleta first and foremost as room for improvement when it comes to this Genji kind of meta. And then they need to look at Fearless and Void and how they actually, particularly Fearless, set things up. You can't know that, though. What the fuck? I mean, okay, right. Wait a second here. So, we're trying to compare reality, where DM played, to a theoretical universe where Lip would have been playing. We know the average level of Lip, and we know that he would have been playing Widowmaker, because that's pretty much all the DM played, Widowmaker and the Ashe. So Widow and Ashe. Was DM playing above the average level of Lip? Yes. Is Lip going to affect the game in other ways with his Widowmaker other than hitting shots? Probably not. I don't know any Widow that calls for their team or tracks ults or that kind of shit. Like, most of them are just pretty quiet. So, it seems like quite a reasonable conclusion to come to that it's unlikely that Lip would have made a difference in those first two games. It's possible Lip might have just popped off, but the likelihood is that there would have been no difference. If anything, possibly they would have played worse, because DM hit some really nice shots to open stuff up a couple of times. Lip has a passive teamwork bonus that gives extra damage and health to nearby allies. Yeah, I mean, I could kind of see that if this was a different meta, but when you're playing Widow, I mean, the Widow doesn't really contribute that much to the teamwork. Like, Widow occupies certain sight lines and attempted to hit the shots, and you have to make sure that you don't get punished, and people have to peel for you, but it wasn't like DM was feeding. So I don't really see what Lip could have done, really. Unless Lip was going to hit more shots, and I don't think Lip would have hit more shots than DM did. So I think it's highly unlikely that Lip would have made a difference to those first two maps. Sideshow, I'm just getting back into Owl. I haven't watched since Season 2. Why do they always play Mirror Team? I don't know what you're saying. Do you mean mirror compositions? Most of the time, they play mirror compositions. And the reason for that is that there is just a comp that is, generally speaking, better the majority of the time on a certain map. But they have, I mean, Overwatch has been mostly mirror comps since time immemorial. There were some periods of time in Season 1 where there weren't really mirror comps. There was attack and defense comps, but most of the time in Overwatch history, things have been mirrored.
Defend objective A.
Okay. Hey, I can't believe it's better. All right, let's take a look at Anubis then. So far, we've actually been pretty impressed with DM's play. And I think some problems to note. Fearless plays off angles quite a lot instead of pushing forward with the rest of his team to make space for Fleta. Fearless doesn't often combo his halts so that Fleta can build up his ult charge really quickly. Fleta himself is way too cautious and seems to use his blades at all the wrong times, and the team doesn't set him up very well for that. And he doesn't set himself up with the right timings either. Void has been playing a very good game, but Void, his just basic style is a bit more flanky than a lot of other Sigmas. And so he sometimes isn't there to defend against Eileen. No major issues from Lee Jae-gon, to be honest. And Izayaki, some of his immortality fields have been a bit all over the place, but I think that's also because of mispositioning from the... Or not mispositioning, but not meta positioning from the tanks. I would like to see the Shanghai Dragons tank line play a little more selflessly in order to empower Fleta, but obviously Fleta has to be on board for that. Like, he has to actually engage with that and play aggressive himself, which I don't know whether he really would. But okay, coming around the side, DM playing the Widow, presumably going to be playing from around here. Yeah, there's DM. And neither team playing the Mei. Mei has also been played a little bit on Anubis. DM with the sick kill on Happy. Nice, great stuff. Whoa, holy shit. Well, we gotta take a look at this then, haven't we? I said sick. I have no idea how good the shot actually was, but it's a great opening pick. Either way, isn't it? Oh my lord, he waits for Happy to crouch. In the perfect sight line! This guy's cracked! How can anybody say, after watching this match, that it was his fault that they lost? There is simply no argument from the evidence that has been presented so far that DM is the reason that the Shanghai Dragons lost. It seems like that on paper if you look at the results, but when you actually watch the game, there's no argument for it.
Objective lost. New defense point. Objective B.
So Shanghai built up some pretty decent ults here as well. Fleta has actually built up a lot of his ult charge by winning that first engagement thanks to DM's picks. So all eyes honestly on Fleta here. Oh, he gets out of it. They lost players early on though. Krong still did a lot of work, built up his ult really fast. Really fast actually. Fleta's still at 96%. It's kind of weird that he didn't get his ult up, but it won't make any difference. Alright, so what I'd like to see here... Oh my god, DM just continues to hit shots. What I want to see here. DM pops in for sight. They push down main. Or they push down right side. It doesn't make that much difference. Actually, it does. They push down right side. So DM pops... No, actually, it doesn't make that much difference. They can push down anywhere they want, to be honest. They have massive ults. DM pops in for sight. I want to see Void pop his Gravitic Flux. And then I want to see a Rally Blade. That's the order of operations here. But I want to see Infosight to open up first. Oh, DM's got locked off from the rest of his team, which is still fine.
No one can
Okay,
hide
Infosight
from
as they get into position. As Fleta gets in position to blade. You're playing on assault, so you wanna just splurge out your ults. Flux only catches one, but it's nice. They kill Shu. The Bob and the Supercharger, so Shanghai can kite this. They can kite. They can just take position on the point. Wait out the Supercharger. As soon as the Supercharger goes, blade. Okay, nice. Oh, except Fleta gets nothing with the blade. It doesn't matter, though. It doesn't matter so much because they've pushed people back. But they're taking so much damage on the reply, and Happy's killed DM as well. Fleta blade got nothing. How did Fleta get his blade kited so absolutely fucking thoroughly? So here's what I think he wants to be doing here, right? Like, he wants to be climbing up to a high point, asking for a halt from the rest of his team. He drops down to blade, so he doesn't need to use a dash. Then he can save his dashes for afterwards, even if he doesn't get an elimination. Halt is just totally wasted from Fearless. Fleta uses all of his dashes just to get into the backline onto Happy. Just a combination of problems. I don't know how the Dragons can be so good and yet not get the most out of some very basic combinations. Fleta now has no dashes and he's just hunting people in the backline here. Fearless wasted his halt. It's just... It seems so simple. Like, it's one of the most simple things to execute. Fucking... Bro, I know this is really insulting to Ben Best, but... Bro, Ben Best wrapped his head around this. Come on, Fearless, please. Bedburst plays these situations perfectly, and yet Fearless, who has been... I mean, to be fair, Fearless has not been spectacular on Orisa. He has played mostly Winston. So maybe this is another kind of issue that is happening with the Dragons here. I know it's sacrilege to even think it, but maybe stand 1 would be better in these scenarios if Fearless just can't use his holds properly. That was what they were trying to do at the beginning of the season. They were always trying to use stand 1 as their Orisa and Fearless as their Winston. They've moved away from that, which is... It's not been bad for them so far, but I've never seen such glaring issues with setting up combos as what I'm witnessing in this finals from the Dragons. And it would make such a huge difference. It would make such an enormous difference if they could actually make Fleta's blades work. They're map winning. They define whether you win or lose maps, these kind of plays. They would have capped. They absolutely would have capped here with over 3 minutes in the time bank. Now, I mean, I don't know. They've only got 1 tick to take, so I assume the Dragons eventually get it, but... I feel like Fearless hasn't been bad on the Orisa previously, but maybe that's just because I haven't been looking at his halts. Blade from Eileen. Let's take a look at how Eileen uses this blade. Oop. A bit weak. So pops it after Fleta gets bashed. Easy kill onto Fleta. Resetting his dash. You know, playing that EQO style of Genji, punishing the opposing Genji. And I mean, at this point, he's just slashing. There's not much subtlety to what he's doing here. It's all about your engage, though, right? Like, it's all about setting up for the good engage. And that one was a beautiful little bash from Chara.
You're fully here.
I need a healer. Heal me.
Kind of weird that I've never heard of Eileen before this tournament, but he's really crazy. So he's a Chinese contenders player, a bit like... Imagine... Actually, he's pretty similar to Crystal, if you guys remember Crystal. But, imagine like a Jinmu that can... Imagine like a Jinmu that can also play Widowmaker. Eileen was definitely one of the best Chinese DPS talents. He performed really well at one of the World Cups. I think he was only in one of the World Cups, though, because Leave and Crystal took the other one. But, yeah, he's a great player. It's just that most of the time his hero pool is not applicable to the charge. Because Nero plays all of the, you know... Nero has the really large projectile hero pool, whereas Eileen is Genji, Doomfist, Widowmaker. What else? I mean, more and more we've seen that he's actually quite a well-rounded player, but originally that's what I thought his hero pool was, basically. But yeah, apparently it's now Tracer. And a bit of Mei as well he's been playing recently. Oh no, it wasn't Mei, it was Torbjorn.
Get behind me. I need healing.
The fact that Nero needed a visa break has probably been the best thing for Eileen's career ever. Because it really allowed him to showcase the depth of his hero pool and his ability to play
No one
intelligently.
is from my sight.
Whereas previously, when Eileen played in Chinese contenders, he just seemed like a feast or famine to the absolute max. Let's take a look at that engagement as well from the Dragons. They push in again with the, what do you call it? The Infrasight. But they immediately kill Shu. Even though... immediately kill Izayaki. Even though Izayaki was behind his Amp Matrix, there was another one from Shu. And the shielding was just better from Rio. It's so weird how different metas can just make teams look incredibly different in terms of their ability and coordination. I think something that the general public doesn't think about very often when it comes to Overwatch is just whether the team gets a meta or not. You know, like, do they understand what they're supposed to be doing at all times? And they can have all the right heroes, but unless they understand the win conditions of the composition, they're gonna be slow to move, to do things, to enact those win conditions. And like, Shanghai Dragons have got all the pieces. I mean, if you told me coming into this tournament, you know, Fleta's Genji isn't good enough, and you know, Fearless and Void look really shaky as a tank duo, I'd be like, what the fuck? Fearless and Void are arguably the best tank duo in the world, and Fleta before has pounded on Genji. But yep, they seem to not really understand how to put Fleta in the best positions, and they're making large mistakes. They just seem like they don't get the meta. Which I think is because their team classically has been based so much around their tanks rather than their DPS. Well, Eileen is kind of fucking.
10 seconds remaining.
And the dragons are kind of sucking. Oh, Legia gone over to the Lucio just to get to the point in time. Fleta is still holding Blade. Oh my god, yeah. How long has he been holding this for? Oh, there we go. He's been holding it for a minute and a half. A 1.5 minute hold of the Blade. Which, fair enough, he's obviously not going to pop it in this fight. Rally Blade for both teams. Final fight. Rally used. Fleta not blading. Not even trying to counterblade. Just giving up. Just giving up. Just didn't feel like playing today, champ. I guess I'll just go wander off over here. Doo-doo-doo. I don't understand what he's waiting for. I don't really know what the dragons think they should be waiting for. In their heads, I don't know what opportunity they're looking for with 30 seconds left.
10 seconds remaining.
Don't know. Meta is not an acronym. It's like what do they call these words that are made into acronyms after they become accepted words? I can't remember. A backronym. Yeah, that's the word. Oh, do I even have to watch the next round? Fucking hell.
0 to 1. Switching.
Yeah, the charge engaged first and the dragons had no idea what they were doing. Yeah, they weren't prepared. But that's the story of this match as well, isn't it? Distortion? In fact, it's the story of this entire tournament. The dragons are always getting engaged into. Fleta never is taking initiative. But he's also not... He's not trying to counterblade at any point either. Anytime a team blades into the dragons, they're just like, oh, okay, GG, go next. That's not how you can play at all. That's not how you should play at all.
Ready for battle.
Meta game is like... Isn't meta like Greek or something? It just means the game within the game. But for some reason in esports, it means the dominant set of strategies that are run at the time. Is it Latin? I thought it was Greek, but I don't know why. I don't know anything about Greek or Latin. I didn't learn either of them in school or anything. Oh, it is Greek. I'm a genius. I shouldn't have admitted not knowing. I should have doubled down.
3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
The evolution of the term is like... The idea is that you could play all of the heroes you possibly want to, but there's already been a predetermined idea of what is the best. So then the game within the game is just how you make these two comps work out as best as possible for you. You don't really have to worry about hero selection. You just have to worry about how you play the best compositions against each other. But yeah, the way that meta as a term is used in esports has completely disappeared from its original meaning. Dragons have got Fleta out on an angle here. Taking armor packs, trying to duel on against Eileen. Eileen trying to get out. Both Genjis not really being able to generate any ult charge because the teams themselves haven't clashed. And Krong's going for a bit of a flank around here. Krong and Chara. The duo. And they want to push them back. DM with a nice kill onto Chara. Krong could fall here as well, and Eileen's got himself in a wee bit of bother. Except he's actually winning the 1v1 against Fleta up here. In the meantime, though, the rest of the Dragons are just pushing in. And Fleta eventually does win the 1v1 against Eileen. Now, the only thing that goes badly for the Dragons, though, is that Happy shoots DM in the head. And DM's going to take quite a while respawning here. So I wonder if they can actually take advantage of that. They're pretty slow to get in. I mean, where is DM right now? It feels like he should be back in the fight. Yeah, he is. He's miles back in the fight. Oh, he's easily back in the fight, rather. You can't be miles back into the fight. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, well, you got fucking pooed on. What is this? Is this our first mistake from DM in the whole of the match? I think it might be. DM taking a forward positioning, trying to look at Happy. Happy pops in for sight, so he's worried about him. And he doesn't hear the call that the rest of the charge are coming up from Mega. He gets halted, rocked, and dies. It's a pretty big mistake from DM on the defense, but kind of understandable. You can see the thought process there. Ooh, wow. Void gets rocked. I don't mean literally rocked, but he gets absolutely dominated when he tries to go for his gravitic flux there too. Eileen giving him the business along with Krong. And now this is going to be a slow fall to pieces for the Dragons. And I suppose the only way you could consider this a success for the Dragons is if they actually force out ults, but with Lee Jae-gon using his rally, there's no chance. This has actually just been bad for them. They've wasted double support ult. And their flux. They used 3 ults and they failed to hold that. Used all the ults in punishable positions. As soon as Void dies, that team fight is over. There's no way that Lee Jae-gon should use his rally. But okay, the Charge are attacking and now they've got a huge ult advantage. I think this is just where they should win. All right, Fleta is actually going to engage aggressively. Wow, it works! It works, Pog! Imagine that! Nice. Very well played. Let's take a look at what they actually do differently here. Apart from something. Fleta and Fearless, clearly setting up for a play. Halt goes in, along with the supercharger. Halt is absolutely perfect, drags 4 players back. And Fleta doesn't use his dash to engage. He just gets a bit of high ground, goes back into them, and then once he gets the eliminations, then he dashes into them. Much, much better. Much better from both players. Because they have an idea. I think that's the key difference. They have, like, a plan. You can see. They're like, okay, in this fight, we are going to Blade. In all the previous fights, it's like, oh, shit, I forgot we had Dragon Blade. Just be aggressive, forehead. I mean, I know that that sounds stupid, but I think that's really the biggest problem with the dragons. But obviously it's not, the players aren't dumb. They just are not either thinking about the game in the same way or not communicating to set up these plays. They're not, I don't know, tracking the ults and thinking, okay, no one's making the call to go aggressive with the blades for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know why that wouldn't be the case, but okay, Eileen is gonna pound here, so let's watch Eileen. Okay, so obviously the dragons are at a horrible ult situation here because they used 3 ults to be able to fail to defend point A, and then they already used their 2 other ults to hold off the previous attack. So this, I mean, even if the dragons hadn't been kind of shit in the bed with this comp already, if these were 2 perfectly even teams, or even if the dragons was a lot better, you would still say that the Charge are almost guaranteed to win this fight. They have an enormous ult advantage. They should be engaging with that matrix to push them back. Then they can use the flux if they want, but generally speaking, it's just going to be Rally, Bongo, Blade. And then it comes down to a combination of Lee Jae-gon and Void to see if they can stop them. The positioning of Lee Jae-gon and Void is absolutely crucial, though. They have to be in the right positions to stop Lee Jae-gon once he actually blades. And here, Eileen uses the blade. Lee Jae-gon fails to bash him. Wait a second, did Chara counter bash? Oh my god, is that just like some fucking Giga Brain shit from Chara? My word, we might be witnessing the largest brig play. Okay, so Lee Jae-gon uses his dash to be able to get up onto the high ground. He's got it again in 5 seconds. He falls back down off the high ground. He's just about to get his bash online. He does actually have bash. And no, actually, Lee Jae-gon just fucking... Wait, does he plank? I'm actually not sure what happens there. I think he gets halted and tries to bash away. I don't really think that was Chara, actually. Chara might have tried to do something. The brig got the assist, so I assume he got bashed. I think Lee Jae-gon, though, attempts to bash away. Yeah, he gets bashed. That's pretty nice. I actually love that play from Chara. I think that's super intelligent. To go aggressive with your Genji is obviously great because you're giving him the rally armor and you're giving him the inspire heals. But then also to give the bash onto Lee Jae-gon so that he can't bash Eileen is next level big brain. I think that's super intelligent. And it stops Void from being able to hit his rock as well. And so Void goes down, and Eileen takes out both of the players that are supposed to counter him. And this is what I mean about just, like, getting the meta, you know? You have to understand not only your own win conditions, but your opponent's win conditions and shut them down. And I have seen no evidence that the Dragons understand the game in the same way that the Charge do. The Charge seem to have a much better understanding of it. He bashed the shield? What do you mean he bashed the shield? He bashed the Sig shield? Lee Jae-gon got stunned. It was at the top of the screen. Lee Jae-gon got stunned. So I think Lee Jae-gon got bashed. Anyway, the point isn't really whether it worked. The point is what he was going for, right? It's Chara's intention that's the cool part. No, he didn't. Oh my god. You guys are fucking infuriating, honestly. Look at that. Lee Jae-gon, currently bashed. Literally currently bashed. He is currently stunned in the UI. Right now, he's stunned. Did not bash Sigma Shield. He bashed Lee Jae-gon. Oh, Stuff was saying no, he didn't bash the Sig Shield. Oh, okay. Sorry, Stuff. I just assumed my chatter dribbles. Okay, so huge difference there. Very evident difference. in terms of their understanding of this double shield Genji composition. So now let's take a look at this, because this is interesting. Now Lip is going to come back into the lineup and presumably be playing the Sombra. And I want to see what the Charge do here. If I had to guess, I would say the Charge still play the Genji. Oh my god, they're still going to play the double shield though as well. Okay, but do they move to the Winston Diva for point B? Because I can still understand how double shield might be effective on point A, but if Charge run double shield all the way through this map, then I think we figured out the reason already why they lost on Gibraltar. I'm a little disappointed if they do run double shield the entire time, because I really wanted to see how Echo Sombra interacts with the Genji Widow, but Charge are not running the Winston, so that's unfortunate. Alright, let's watch Lip. Because this now makes a lot of sense. If the maps where Lip won, he was just playing Sombra, because his Sombra's absurd and the dragons are so good at playing around it. Makes a lot of sense, especially if the Charge didn't play Winston on this map. Rio's a pretty good Winston. He's not the best in the world, he's not fearless, but he's pretty good. Weird timing for Lip to go for that, honestly. Just distracting the Widowmaker as his team tried to get into position, but I think Lip probably could have done more if he just farmed his EMP, honestly. I think you have to worry about Happy too much. Chara just scouting the Sombra everywhere, making Lip's life a little more difficult. Just doing damage to Kong from the back, building up this EMP. Large old targets, the Sigma and the Orisa. Oops. There we go. We'll go back. Eileen is close to his ultimate. And the dragons are struggling to take control of this high ground. I think if Fearless gets his primal up, yeah. They're going to go for a... Oh my god, what a whip shot from Chara. That's such a nice whip shot. Makes Fearless totally useless with his Nano Winston. He does have the primal, so they can start to take high ground control. Pressure on Happy is good. Pressure on Shu is good. But the dragons are still pretty slow. Okay, here comes a big EMP. EMP onto Rio and Krong. Nice Bionade as well. Fleta finishes him off. Very nice, very nice. It was a little slow. It took 2 minutes, but the execution was good from the dragons. They didn't overstay their welcome. Good shot from Happy. And Charo was playing well there. Scouting the whole time. A lot of pressure on Eileen here, really. Happy's moved over to the Torbjorn. Happy has moved over to the Torbjorn for Gibraltar Point B. I mean, you can't be dived very easily. And he's somewhat... I mean, his turret is somewhat of a Echo and Sombra counter. I mean, counter is the wrong word, but it makes it annoying to play against the turret. But that means that Charge don't really have any threat from long range at all now. So it kind of just butchers their comp, because dragons can now take space for free. They don't have to worry about getting sniped. They can sit in whatever sightlines they like. So I'm not sure the pros of the Torb outweigh the cons here. But clearly Happy felt that he wasn't finding too much value against a Winston and a Sombra. Nice from Fleta, though. The dragons just want control of the high ground here, really. Izayaki gets headshot by Happy, who's on the high ground. It's impossible, I think, to be able to push this point if you don't have control of the high ground. The hack, but Happy had already popped off his overload, so... That's one of the reasons why Torb is good here as well, I think, is that you can react to being hacked just by pressing a single button that makes you much more tanky. There we see the Happy turret in play, taking down Fleta. But in the next fight, they have a lot of ults to be able to win with. And I'm not convinced with this Charge comp. I would have loved to see Charge play Genji Dive and see how that would work against Echo Sombra. Because I'm not sure myself. I don't really know. I feel like the Echo Sombra must have been designed by the dragons to counter the Genji. Specifically by like taking out the Genji and the D.Va from the comp. Hulk coming out. What's the timing on this? 3-man. Lip just gets chunked down by the turret there. And there isn't really much follow-up. Fleta copies... Wait a fucking second. Fleta copies the Genji. After the EMP comes out, which basically just forces out the immortality field, Fleta plays more aggressively with an Echo Dragon Blade than he does with his own. It makes more sense because you actually have like 237 HP right now instead of 37. But a little tilting having watched the previous maps. Whoa. Does manage to trade his life for Happy's. But I think that dragons generally have done a pretty bad job of controlling high ground. They were just kind of sat on the floor a lot. I think ideally what they want to do is dominate the high ground, push these people off the middle layer, and then play aggro. The problem, as always with this comp, is Void. Is finding a safe place for Void to stand while you all play on the high ground. If he plays on this middle layer, he's just going to get shit pushed in. Oh, Fearless with some nice tech. Bouncing his head off the ceiling to get out faster. And they're going to slowly push the payload in. Zap down the supercharger. The grav is pretty fucking useless. Okay, grav. Oh, unless you combo it with the Bionade. That Bionade is huge. Absolutely beast level Bionade. And a huge grav as well, honestly. Normally you can only catch a single person in the grav. But they broke shields and then grabbed 3 players. And then landed a Bionade on them. Really nice performance from the dragons there. They look so much more comfortable when they're able to play dive. Lip with the EMP. What's the idea here? The follow-up for the EMP in this comp is not the strongest in the world. And, I mean, Krong is probably the best target for the EMP. Eileen is also pretty good. But they're not often going to be playing close to each other. Just weighing up his options, letting his team to be in a position to succeed. Chara's the only person that he really has to watch out for. Krong, first target, goes down immediately. Eileen falls as well. A great EMP that caught the 2 most crucial players. Plus Happy, but he's a chonk, isn't he? He's just playing Torbjorn. Chara swaps over to the Lucio. You know what this reminds me of? In the same way that Paris... Oh my god, you sat on the coom, Lip. In the same way that Paris were very good and had niche strats for the control maps of Nepal and Lijiang Tower, or Lijiang Tower and Nepal, if you want to say the chronological order in which they were played. This is kind of the Dragon's pocket pick of Gibraltar.
Score 0-3. Switching sides.
I was told Lip has bad EMPs. You were told incorrectly. People like to meme about Lip's EMPs based on one game against the London Spitfire. Most of the time, his EMPs are perfectly fine. Very good. And he also wins fights just with his default hacks. I've really... I don't know. I feel like I have to go to bat for Lip repeatedly. But Lip is a sick Sombra. I know, Reinforce. Can you even imagine? Can you even imagine?
Ready for battle.
It's not even their job to make the hyperbolic takes. Lip as in your bleeding lip? No, unfortunately not. Shanghai might be unbeatable on Jib. I would love to see the Dragons running this comp go up against, like, Paris running their comp. You know, the Genji Widow kind of stuff. Or even the Genji McCree if they want to run that instead. But the stylistic clash there, I think, is really interesting. Because I think if the Genji Winston Diva comp plays fast enough, the Zarya can't get enough done in the fight. And you've also got the Genji Nanoblade Snowball. You miss out on the EMP, but I think you could even play like full Genji Sombra dive. Your Diva would have a bad time, but your Diva would kind of do their job and sacrifice himself for the team fight wins. I'm not sure how it would work. I assume that the Dragons came up... Wait! What the fuck are Dragons running on defense? What the fuck are Dragons running on defense? What the fuck are Dragons running on defense? This was the comp. This is the comp that me and Leg Day like to run in order to boost me out of plat on DPS. Alright. What the fuck is the plan here? They have double hit scan. I mean, the Dragon's comp gets rolled by Genji Dive. Surely. You just push the hit scan off the high ground, control the high ground, and to get a dive onto them, they're fucking planked. Unless Fleta and Lip hit some unbelievable shots. The backline is squishy as fuck as well. Is this a specific counter comp to the double shield that the Charge are running? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand. Alright, let's just watch. What the fuck is going on here? Why would Guangzhou not just run dive and boom these kids? What is going on here, right? Where is everyone positioned? Fearless, Void, that makes perfect sense. Lip. That's weird, but whatever. Anna Zen in the back line, miles away. Who do they even have sightlines on for the Harmony Orbs? They've got Blue Box, they've got down here, and they've got Server Room. Is Fleta just going to play in Server Room? No. So Fleta also wraps up... No, he doesn't wrap up top. He goes... Where are you going, little Fleta? Are you playing Server Room? How does Lip kill Happy? What is going on? This is going to be a struggle. They are going to occupy... So, against double shield, their double hit scan is going to occupy the high ground and just rain terror from above. Charge have to take the high ground away from them. But then with Fearless and Void, that's not so easily done. Oh, nice headshot. Nice kill on Eileen as well. Set up by the flash. Oh, Charge have to run Winston here. Surely. Oh, Lip just feeds into Shu. I feel like I've entered a fever dream. Void and Fleta are down there with the Winston. Like, Fleta's just fucking running around inside there. How do you even come up with a comp like this? Okay. Oh my god, Fearless got battered. Absolutely battered. Beautiful Hulk coming out from Rio. And he just got brutalized by Happy and Eileen. They ganged up on him. And they banged him. Alright. Ooh, nice sleep dart. Wait, what the fuck? No, it's not a nice sleep dart. Izzyaki, what are you doing down here, son? What's going on in this game? Okay, so a non-existent point A hold for the Shanghai Dragons. Which has my brain just puzzled beyond belief. Void pushed off high ground. Charge take the top. Or at least they're trying to take the top. Getting attacked by the Winston. The Dragons have now gone back to Echo Sombra, but with a Sigma. Oh, I don't understand. I mean, I assume that Void is also going to swap off at some point, but to be honest, he might not even have to if his team just stays in control. I mean, he's only going to swap off if he loses a team fight, and at that point, you've already lost control of the high ground, haven't you? So he's probably just going to stay on Sigma for quite a while. Oh, Happy kills Lip. How does that happen? Wow. Lip just steps 1 meter backwards and Happy takes his head off. Fearless drops. Primals. Infrasight from Happy, but Fearless is never going to let him do anything with that. A little bit ambitious. And Eileen goes down. Okay. So, because Charge aren't running the Winston, they're also not running the Ana, which means that they don't have a Nanoblade to be able to emphatically take control of this high ground. I can't believe I've found a Gibraltar game where I hate the comps that both teams are running. I mean, I don't hate the comp that the Dragons are running if they run the... Thank you for the 24 months, Drew. That's very, very kind of you. Thank you for all of your great moderation work that you've been doing on my stream as well. That's me, Dr. Eggman, and thank you again for the tier 2 sub. The thunk at the end is pretty good. It is. ISO, thank you for the 2 months as well. What flavor Pringles? These are Texas barbecue. I don't think the charges... I don't think the double shield comp is good on Gibraltar, and I think this is where it's absolutely the worst, pushing into Gibraltar point B. The only thing I don't like about the current Dragons comp is Void on Sigma, but I don't think there's... I mean, I don't even know. I think the Diva is the best option. Well, no, is it? Actually, I think Zarya might still be the best if you're on defense and you have control of the high ground, because you can bubble Fearless to be able to get into the back line. But Void hasn't died, so he's going to stay on the Sigma. I thought the Dragons comp for point A defense was batshit insane, though. Alright, so what did the Charge do here? The Charge are going to try and just push the payload as far as they can, and then Blade. Oh, wow, Happy gets burned. And the Blade gets nothing done. I know that everyone was jizzing about Eileen in the course of this series, but he has had a lot of Blades where he's got absolutely nothing. Like, not even the kind of zero-man Blades that let you win fights, just literally nothing Blades. He's been pretty good, and he's had amazing moments. But he still had quite a number of total fails as well. Good primal timing from Fearless. Good or lucky, because he just came out of the stun. Uh-oh. 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 This is what we hate to see. Uh-oh. Rio just getting bullied. Now Fearless is the one getting bullied. Oh no. Fearless is in the pit. Rio hacked. Rio's gonna go down. Surely. Surely. Yep, Rio dies. Lip winning a fight with his basic hack again. Not investing the EMP. And now Eileen has gone over to the Torb. So now they're running Torb Ash double shield. Which I think is not a bad counter to the Dragon's comp. Except you're on Gibraltar. And you're trying to push high ground. Basically, the charge just have to walk out. And get to the payload. And just kind of tank all of this damage that's going to come out to them. But they're pushing into an EMP, so... Oh, Happy actually got off the overload as the EMP happened, which is pretty good by Happy. 3-man EMP. They managed to get a single pick with it. Lip gets out. Maybe Lip should have waited for them to be a bit more committed to the fight. They get a single pick, so they do reset them for, you know, like 10, 15 seconds. It's actually been a bit longer than that as well, but even so. You'd have preferred to waste even more time off the clock. He's already back to 40% of his ult, though, and Fearless has another primal. The ult cycle is pretty monstrous. Against the dragons, against the charge comp, this primal really is a win condition. So is Nano Winston. Who's Fleta gonna copy? Is Fleta not gonna use a duplicate in this fight? My god, Fleta loves holding on to his ults, doesn't he? Then again, who does he copy? Krong, I suppose? Oh, what a hack. Hack to cancel the Gravitic Flux. Ooh, Lip gets caught just before he can get into his... Lip gets caught just before he can get to his Translocator. Ooh, Fleta just misses the kill on Eileen. And in order to save himself... Oh, he goes under the Baptiste and he kills Eileen. I like the Baptiste, actually. I thought he would copy Krong, but the Baptiste might even be better. In fact, I think it is better. And they've bought enough time to Lip to get up to another EMP. I think... Oh, 5-man EMP. Rio gets rocked as well. Fearless with 2 kills with a Nano Primal. Don't normally see Nano Primals, but Fearless is making it work. Let's take a look at Fearless's Winston mechanics here. Oh my god, he's kind of fucking. Kind of fucking. God, Fearless absolutely fucking poos with Winston. He's so good. Holy mother of God. I think Fearless has been the best Winston so far this year. Which is crazy when you consider that he's competing against Mano and Gesture and Gushui and OG even. Like, I don't know who else are incredible Winston players. Can't think. Sado? Yeah, and Sado. But Fearless has looked the best out of all of them. Fearless was so good on Element Mystic. I actually love seeing the glow up from the Element Mystic crew. Fearless and Darko, God bless his soul. He's moved on to another realm. Jex and Repel, maybe not so much actually, but... You know, they're doing work with the Houston Outlaws. Who else has played as much Winston? Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a good point, but it goes both ways, right? Like, Fearless only plays so much Winston because he's so good at it. That map was a weird one because The Dragons had some weird ideas of what they wanted to play, like their point A defense, but the Charge just stuck with double shield, and I think double shield just sucks ass on Gibraltar. I think that you cannot win. You almost can't win playing double shield against a dive team. It's the worst map in the pool for playing double shield. I don't think we've seen a single team win with double shield. Okay, let's have a look at Busan. Is this what Lip played as well? Yeah, you can definitely get value from Lip here. I think Lip will play the Widow when it comes to Shrine or something. Or is it Sanctum? I can't remember what the name of the map is. It's the one with the big bongo drum in the middle. Did you hear what happened to Doa? I saw his tweet. Yeah, it's pretty sad stuff, but I know him and his wife are a lovely pair. And I think they have a lot of, I don't know. They're just very good together. All right.
Round one. Capture the
So round one. Charge are going to run the meta comp, and the Dragons are running dive. So this isn't even Zarya dive. This is full-on Winston Diva. And there's an argument to be made, like we were talking about before, that Void playing the Zarya here gives Fearless more ability to dive into the backlines and contest Krong and Chara when they have, you know, because you can't CC through the bubble. But okay, we get an opportunity to see how these. Okay, well maybe we don't get an opportunity. Happy just hits the fucking shot of his life.
3, 2, 1.
What happened to Doa? Yeah, Doa put out a series of tweets about him and his wife have been struggling to have a kid, and Doa's wife has miscarried a couple of times, and so he was just wanting to talk about it because it's actually really common. I mean, maybe I'm using the word "really" wrong, but it's quite common to have multiple failed attempts before you're actually able to carry to full term. And people don't talk about it. But, yeah, he just put out a series of tweets this morning. So I think he's in need of maybe a little bit of love, but I think that hopefully it works out for him and his wife. Because Honey and Doa are a wonderful couple. They're very lovely, both of them. Dude, Happy is hitting some fucking shots. Great dive, though. Great dive. Really nice execution from the Dragons. I want to kind of wind this back as well and focus on Lip. Just putting in a lot of damage. Doesn't really set that up with a hack. It's more to do with the positioning from Fearless and Fleta and Void. And actually, Lee Jae-gong gets stuck in a lot. Trying to get revenge on Happy after he took him out previously. Building up this EMP. Oh, wow. Yep. Absolutely got to respect that. Krong hits those. Let's take a look again. Dragon's in control of the fight, and Happy's done enough to build up his infra site. You gotta be a bit scared of that. Fleta dodging out of line of sight. And Fearless going aggressive. Just trying to scout. To make sure they know where Happy is. Now, they should know that Happy's positioned around here, and you can see that Void is looking down there. I think... Did they not spot him? Maybe not. Happy's returned to the rest of the team. Wait, what? What just happened to Lip? Did he just get rocked in midair whilst coming out for his EMP? Yo, what is this? Does Krong give him the absolute business? Oh my god. Krong saw the translocator and immediately prediction rocks and fucks him in the butt. Oh, wowie. He stuffs that rock straight into Lip. Whoa. That's a sick play. I want to watch that from Krong's POV. Dude, I was so confident that Krong was going to come in and dominate this season. You watch this guy play Diva, and you just know that he can play every hero. I don't know how to explain it to you guys, but when you watch him play Diva, you know that he's not a Diva one-trick. He's just so talented. He has such a read of the game. You can see his understanding of the game is so good. I'm so glad that he's become absolutely one of the best main off-tanks in the league. He reacts to the audio cue. Oh, he's a genius. Oh, he's a genius. The whip shot was ready as well. The whip shot is also right there from Chara. Well, you know what? Get fucked, Lip. Read like a book. Fearless deep into the backlines with his primal. He took the nano, but the nano wasn't enough. Maybe the primal won't be enough as well. Wow. Even a nano and primal invested there for nothing, basically. Just to slow down the advance of the charge. And Shu jumps up top and selfishly uses his immortality field, but that's good to take down Fleta. What a great retake from the charge. What a fantastic retake. Okay, Lee Jae-gon uses his rally here just to delay the point as long as possible. He forces out rally from Chara as well, which is good for the Dragons. They're not going to really have an opportunity to turn it, but they got an extra, what, 15%? 10%? 10 at least. And Chara's rally was forced out, so I think that's pretty good. Eileen pulse bombed the Sombra? Did he really? Didn't even catch that. Oh, he killed his translocator as well. Ah, that's so good. That's so good. Oh, they are making Lip's life hell. They're doing a great job here in this round, the charge. Anyway, like we said, an extra 10% at least on the board and both rallies forced out. So the Dragons will be fairly happy about this. Happy himself moving over to the Soldier 76, so got a weird comp now. Not really much long-range pressure whatsoever, but it's better against what the Dragons are running. A huge amount of damage to pump into Fearless whenever he goes for a dive, especially with that supercharger. Dragons have got to be a bit scared. Oh god. Wait, what was that a halt rock? Or was it just a halt? A halt from Fearless. Or a halt onto Fearless rather, and they just chew him down. So much damage from Shu and Happy and Rio. Oh, you gotta wait those out. What do the Dragons really have here? This comp doesn't have many big ults to work with. They don't have the Nano Blade. The Nano has to be just used on Fearless, and Fearless will still get shredded even if he has the Nano on him. So Nano is not really a win condition at all here. It's just an engagement tool. Oh my god, I'm watching Lip just get harassed the shit out of on the side. Eileen is ruining him. Except Lip just hacked Eileen. What is happening over here? Okay. Right. Well, there was a little duel happening over here with Eileen and Lip that Lee Jae-gon decided to take an interest in. And in the meantime, if we wind back the clock, I guess some other shit happened. Wow, solo Flux to get Fleta out of the duplicate form. Worth? I'm not sure. Probably, honestly. If Fleta's able to get off a Gravitic Flux, that could certainly change the tide of the fight, especially if you follow it up with this EMP that's about to come online for Lip. EMP catches Rio and Krong. Should be a focus onto Krong here. Where is Krong? Oh, Krong's getting defended by Chara. And the Immortality Field. Primal, this should go the way of the dragons. They did it again! They fucking did it again! Come on! Again? Again? The same as map 1? Come on! They don't even trigger overtime, do they? Lip. EMPs. Contest the point at 97%. So they will trigger overtime. They did trigger overtime. Happy with the tack visor around the side. And they are obviously desperate to get these kills on Rio and Krong. Makes perfect sense. So Fearless is going to primal. I don't know why Lee Jagon doesn't go downstairs. I mean, why would he ever want to challenge Happy in the first place? Why would he deliberately want to go towards Happy here instead of just dropping to point and playing underneath? Where's Void as well? Oh, the Void's getting involved in the team fight. And Lip had to translicate out. Jesus Christ. Oh, fucking hell. I think that's on Lee Jagon, honestly. I mean, he's the only person in the fight doing nothing. Maybe it's a bit on Void as well. If you consider that Void didn't really need to use any of his abilities to help Fearless get those kills because Fearless already had Primal. Void could have stayed on the point. Maybe Lip. You would have wanted Lip to stay there, but the Lip I think would have died anyway, so... I think that's on Lee Jagon. Lee Jagon's just a mental bastard. I don't know. I find it hard to think of Lee Jagon as the #1 Rookie of the Year candidate, even though he might be. Because although he is arguably the best at his position in the Overwatch League, he makes so many fucking errors. It's unbelievable. He makes a lot of plays as well, but over the course of 2020, and he did it much more at the beginning of the year, but he still does it sometimes, he makes many, many errors. He's like unbelievably good. And then somehow, I don't know, like equally just dribbles out of control sometimes too. And most of the time, the reason that he dribbles out of control is because he's trying to make some kind of play. When he should just be staying safer, so I don't know. Lee Jagon is arguably the #1 Rookie of the Year candidate, and yet, he plays like a fucking maniac. Krong is a rookie? Yeah, Krong's certainly up there as well. Just like me? No, no, not like me. I have all of Lee Jagon's lows with none of his highs. If Sparkle fucks like this for the rest of the season, is he in the running for Rookie of the Year? Yes, but he would have to keep it up for the rest of the season because he joined so late, in my opinion. If Krong or Lip don't get Rookie of the Year, I fucking riot. I think there's very good arguments for both Lee Jagon and Alarm. And Ants, honestly. Although... yeah, and Ants. I don't really think the argument about him being a specialist makes too much sense because, I mean, so is Sparkle. And so is... actually, I don't suppose that any of the other Rookie of the Year candidates really are. But Ants plays the Widow and the Ashe and the McCree, and he's played a bit of Tracer as well. So I don't think that should discount him. Exy? Unless Exy dominates for the rest of the season, I don't think he's really going to be in the running. And it seems less likely that Exy dominates than Sparkle dominates. There are a lot of different Rookie of the Year candidates this year. So many good rookies. And it's not like last year where the Vancouver Titans were the obvious winners. Anyway, let's fucking focus up on this round. What the fuck is going on here? So the Shanghai Dragons just boomed themselves, basically. They were going to win that fight. They were probably going to win the round as well if they had just stayed on the... Yeah, I mean, absolutely they would have won that round because they were winning that team fight and they were at 85%. So that is the Dragons just throwing away a round. I mean, thankfully they win this map anyway, don't they? So Dragons fans rejoice. They can make mistakes and still win. But... Okay, let's see what they got cooking for us in this map. Both teams are going to run rush comps. May Reaper versus May McCree. What's Lip doing around here? What was he waiting for? Who did he think was going to flank? What comp did he think they were going to run? There's clearly some kind of set play going on there, but it shit the bed monumentally. Charge were like, oh look, a tasty little McCree. I don't really know what he was expecting to find there. They must have anticipated the Charge coming out on a different comp, I think. Because no one flanks in the comp that they're running. Like, there's no way that anyone is going to flank. Amazing to me that Shanghai still win this fight. Void doing so much work. And they just eat all of the aggression from the Charge. Just gobble it up. Nom, 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 nom. Tamascan Pup, thank you for the 10 months. Who are my top 3 favorite players to watch in OWL? Oh, I have no idea, man. No idea. Couldn't possibly narrow it down to 3 players. Top 3 players, favorite players to watch. Super, I think, is my favorite tank to watch. Lee Jae Gon. I genuinely love watching Lee Jae Gon play. He's a fucking nutcase, but I do love watching him play. Lee Jae Gon, Super, Prophet. I love watching as well, actually. And then like Happy DM Ans, whatever the Widowmaker of the day that's popping off. Cloudy is fucking fun, actually. And yeah, Sparkle or Haxel. I don't know. It's impossible to narrow it down to 3. I don't know. Huge Gravitic Flux. Forced out the Immortality field pretty early there. Did the Dragons go for the engage? High Noonie. On Lip. Oof. Eileen just fucking fed his brains out. What was he going for there? Like Eileen was working for DoorDash for zombies, just delivering his brain to the front door. What? Oh, he's trying to isolate Void. I don't think that... I mean... In my opinion, Dragons are way better at peeling for their team than Eileen gives them credit for there. I don't think that they're almost ever going to be able to get that done. Oh, and what a shatter as well. The peel from the Dragons is almost always wonderful. Their team coordination is fabulous. Yeah, Lee Jae Gon gets involved. Krong gets involved. Sorry, not Krong. Void defends himself, I mean. And then who else was it? I think it was... I can't remember who else it was. Was it Fleta? Or is it Yaki or someone? I can't remember. Whatever. Even though Lip died right at the beginning here, for reasons unknown. Although, I don't think it was a feed by Lip. I feel like it was... It looked like a set play of some description, but I don't know why they did it. Oh, they just run past... they run away from the point. Speed boost, sound barrier, just to kill Shu. Oh, that's so smart from the Dragons. Oh, what a great block from Fearless as well with the shatter. Giving him the business. Fearless frozen up and they lose the point, but it doesn't matter. Eileen is going to die. And the dragons win the round. What a dominant round from the dragons. I think that's the first time this series that they've been dominant at anything, right? Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. Krong's still alive. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no, 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 no. Shu and Krong. Oh, wow. Look at that. It's a 4v2. It's a 4v2. Izayaki dies, even though he had the immortality field available. And Shu's just peppering people from above. Good God. Rio gets involved, but I don't really believe he did that much. Krong just staying alive while Shu pumped out damage from an angle. That's nasty. That's nasty. Alright, now it makes it slightly more difficult for the dragons. They still have good ults, though. They got a Flux to engage with. They got a Shatter to try and clutch. Flux Noon can sometimes get results, although maybe not in such a tight area. They're gonna go for it anyway, though. Okay, didn't really find anything. Oh, Happy kills Fleta as well. Nice shot by Happy. Or rather, nice pick. I keep saying nice shot when I can't see the shots themselves. Oh! It's fucking enormous! It's fucking enormous! Fearless is a god! Fearless is a god! I mean, it certainly seems like Fearless is comfortable on the Reinhardt. Fearless has looked shaky on the Orisa so far this series, but he's looked like a world-class player on the Winston and the Rhine. Let's just go back and treat ourselves here. Just absolutely treat ourselves to the display of Happy and Fearless. Just the boomage at work. You got the Venom Mine onto Fleta as well. Oh, what a shot. And Fearless is like, no, I win now. God damn, that's nasty. Gets everyone so weak before the Amp Matrix is killed too. The Immortality Field. Oh, Lord almighty. That's good. Okay, solid round. Solid round. And normally on this round, we see Tracer and a Widowmaker, or something like that. Tracer Ashe, Tracer Widow. So we get to see Fleta play against Eileen. Neither of these guys are natural Tracer players. Eileen had to pick it up in a week, but he actually looked really good. And Fleta plays around his team. Very intelligent style, even though his mechanics aren't quite up to the, like, god-tier Tracer players. And so he's also very good at it, despite not being a natural Tracer player. In the right place at the right time. Catches out Happy. Pushes with his off-tank. And they've immediately got a pick. And I fully believe that the Dragons understand this team comp. Because Fleta isn't the focal point. It's all about your tanks. It's all about making space. And then Fleta comes in on the cleanup on the flank. And I think the biggest issue for the Dragons is that... Actually, Fleta's aim is so crisp. One of the biggest problems for the Dragons is that they try and play the Genji comp like the Ashe comp. Sorry, they try and play the Genji comp like the Tracer comp. And they're not the same at all. I mean, they are a bit similar. Don't get me wrong. They are somewhat similar. But they're not the same. You need to play your tanks in different ways. Oh my God, Izayaki just giving him the 2-tap to the head. After I review this game, great putting. Actually, no. Probably another day when I'll play Overwatch. I'll do my placements another day. Izayaki kind of destroys Eileen there, to be honest. And the dragons are absolutely dominant with this composition. And with Rush, and with a bunch of other stuff. Which is why I still believe that the Shanghai Dragons are the best team in Asia. But the Charge understood the Genji comp way better.
No one can hide from my sight.
Fledapov, please. Okay, let's take a look at the Fledapov. He creeps around behind Eileen. The way that you play the Tracer and the way you play the Genji is so different. Nice. Set up by Lips in for sight. And Fleta just gets the one clip. There's nobody that realizes he's there. Not a chance. And he's avoiding the Tracer duels because that's not where Fleta excels. Fleta excels at playing around the rest of his team. Playing around the space that Fearless and Void provide him. He doesn't want to take Tracer duels against Eileen and get forced out of these amazing positions that he's in. Yep. Hello, Eileen. No, thank you. I'll just go kill the rest of your team now. That was the amp matrix there that led to the death on Fearless, probably. Where is he? Does he get halted? Dragged into it or something? Yes. Yes, he does. Okay, so not really a winnable situation for the Dragons to be in. It was a nice play by Rio and Chu. And let's see why Eileen, let's see whether, sorry, Eileen can do as well as Fleta did when in control of the point. No, Charge can't play against the Eternal because of the ping. And because, you know, COVID. I don't personally think that Houston are top 4 NA. But I think there's an argument that they are. Okay, what's Eileen up to on the Tracer? I think he's trying to do the same kind of stuff that Fleta was. He just doesn't have his timing as good. But that's pretty perfect. Times it up with the Gravitic Flux coming out from Krong. Whoa! That's kind of nasty. Top 4 in NA. Shock, Fusion, Eternal, Mayhem. Well, I mean, Mayhem haven't looked very good in this meta. I think they actively got worse, actually, the second time against playing against the Outlaws. I think they took the wrong lesson from their game against the Outlaws. I think their lesson should have been Genji comps are good, let's refine them and not make as many mistakes. And I think the lesson they actually took away from that match was, wow, we should just play the Tracer. Yaki's so good. Which I don't think is the right play. As is clearly evident by the teams that did well in the Summer Showdown. Alright, let's actually pay attention to this as it progressed then. Here's Fleta. Curling around the side. Tank and support ults available for the whole of the rest of the Dragons. Izayaki kills Shu after killing his Immortality Field. They're just using the... They're using the Bongo and the Flux and the Amp Matrix to just pour infinite damage onto the Guangzhou Charge by the look of it. Overwhelming amounts of damage. And that's your advantage of going up 99% at the beginning. Did all come down to one fight, so... A closer third round, but... The Dragons were honestly pretty dominant there, even though it ends up being 99-99. Okay. So, we then go to the final map of the series. So what's the score at this point? It's 3-2. 3-2 to the Guangzhou Charge. The Guangzhou Charge have won every map where there's a Genji mirror. Right? Because the only ones they lost were them losing playing double shield on Gibraltar and them losing playing, you know, a variety of like rush comps and then also Tracer Widowmaker. They won every map where they played double shield? No, they haven't. So I wonder what the dragons end up going for here. I'd be tempted if I was the dragons to try and run Tracer on Blizzard World for Fleta. Because even though it's not meta, their team is better at it. They just understand the comp more. And Tracer is pretty viable on Blizzard World. I don't know really whether Fleta is good enough at Tracer to be able to pull that off against a Genji team, but I'd be tempted. Is that what they're going to do? Ah, they are, aren't they? Well, I think this will either go horribly wrong or really well. And I know that they lose the map, so... This just naturally fits the way that Fearless and Void like to play a lot more, though. Fleta can take the flanks, he doesn't have to take a lot of resources. Oh, DM with the jump shot onto Chara. DM's a fucking nutty bastard. Damage in onto Krong at the back. Fleta zipping around them. DM again, putting pressure onto the tank line. Rio falls weak. They've pushed them all into a corner. They've pushed them really weak. They should be able to just shove it in now. Oh, what a halt. Beautiful halt. DM with another kill. Okay, DM deserves, because of all the slander against DM's name, it just bears watching this from his point of view, I think. What map number is this? This is the 6th map in the series. There's actually no way that this series was DM's fault. Absolutely no chance. The headshot on Eileen as well, even while he's inside the immortality field. These shots are fucking bonkers. His style of aiming is just so fun to watch. I think it gets a bit harder here for the dragons, though. It's hard for the Tracer to be able to do too much work on the high ground, because it's kind of hard for the Tracer to get up there in the first place. It's not like Genji where you can jump up and down and flit around.
No one can hide from my sight.
Oh. Eileen pushes in and Rio immediately takes that space. A really good understanding from Rio of just how to play Orisa in this meta.
Get the payload moving.
Something that Fearless appears to be lacking. I think that Fearless and Fleta were the biggest reasons that the Dragons lost this game. Oh, nice shot from Happy. Dragons are going to try and take the high ground here. They've actually got ults to be able to work with as well. They're going to worry about that infra site though. But if they wait out the supercharger and the infra site, then they're going to be able to push up top with all of their ults. So this should be pretty good for the dragons. They're going to push high ground. Fleta can get pushing the payload while it all happens and flank around and try and do damage to anybody that falls off. Okay, the flux. Wait, what? How do they get a kill during the flux when they're all positioned all the way back here? How does anyone possibly die to that flux? Halt eaten by Void. Flux up. Who is it that dies in the end? I've forgotten. It's Void. Void just gets chunked. Why does Izayaki not use the lamp? What happened to Void's shield? The shield was broken. And the immortality field just doesn't get expended. And because Fearless fell off the side, he can't do anything about it either. That immortality field is... I mean, the gravitic flux is so far away from everybody else that I feel like that should never have resulted in a kill. Large mistake from dragons. Check DM's POV. DM's POV? You mean Happy's? For if Happy hit a headshot on him? I think he did. I think Happy at least hit a body shot on him or something. No, he didn't. Happy literally didn't even shoot Void. They just killed him with, I don't know, I guess fucking damage from Shu and Krong and Rio. Blade from Eileen shuts stuff down again. Ah, this is a little sad to watch actually for the dragons. They're going Rhine. Oh lordy, they've lost it. They've lost the plot. Lost the plot. No. Are you hungry?
Yeah.
I put away the Pringles.
Okay. When are you recording?
8 p.m.
Okay, gotcha. So if I could now.
Mm-hmm.
You go to work?
Yep.
You still streaming?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Fearless is going to try and push the card in. It is kind of hard to brawl against a Reinhardt. Oh, what does Eileen do there?
No one can hide from my sight.
Reflect? Okay, no. Just slowly kills him. The dragons look so lost at this point. Well and truly lost. Nice. You know what? This is the first time where I feel fairly confident in saying that I think North America's ahead of Asia. Might be the first time in the whole league where I feel confident in saying that. Because Charge did well here, but they didn't do anything crazy. And I don't think they had the same coordination of a Paris or maybe even a Philly. I think Paris would beat Charge right now, yeah.
Score 0.
I'm not sure about that, but I think they would.
Initiating match.
And certainly the majority of Asia is really far behind the top 3 in NA. I think the Dragons would lose at the moment to all 3 of the top NA teams. The Dragons might stylistically match up really well against the Shock, though. That's the other thing. Because neither of them play Genji comps. But the Shock play more aggro with their kind of stuff, and I think that would end up winning out. That's a hot take? I don't think that's a hot take. Well, you think the Dragons right now, with how we've watched them play all day long, would beat Paris, Philly, or Shock with how we watched them play in the Summer Showdown? I don't think that's a hot take. I think it's a bit of a hot take to say that the Charge would lose to all 3 of those teams. I don't even really believe that. I think that would be a hot take. I don't think it's a hot take to say that the Dragons would right now. The Dragons look kind of lost. I think the Dragons might match up well against the Shock. They might have a close game against the Shock, but against the other 2 teams, they don't look like they know really how to deal with or they don't know how to play against or play the Genji comps that well. It just seems to be like a large hole in their play. And now they're trying like cheese shit. Yeah, rush them down. Why not? I like it. That's so good. Is it going to work for a long period of time? No. Are the Dragons going to take this small ult advantage and try and snowball it, though? Yep. It's a nice idea from the Dragons to completely change up the way you're playing, put Charge on the back foot now, and see if they can just break an off-meta comp. Because you know the Dragons are good with Rush. Play to your own strengths. You clearly can't beat them when it comes to the mirror, so play to your own strengths. I like this. It smacks a little of desperation, but you are desperate. The Charge are on tournament point. Oh. Holt rocking a couple of shurikens, take down DM. Oh! 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 Fearless! Oh! That's so fucking good. What a legend. Oh, the shatter as well. To take down Happy. Oh my god, and they pair it with the... Oh my god, the difference in play when the Dragons play a comp they're comfortable with. I don't know. The Dragons just look lost in the meta right now, but as soon as they play their own shit, they're straight back to being a dominant team. I mean, I'm sure they will eventually lose. But they look a lot cleaner when they play like this. So hard to push into the supercharger. It's impossible to push into a supercharger with a rush team. Oh, God. Well, you know, good try, honestly. Good try. Alright, so what's the play here? If you're the dragons, chat, you want to hold aggressively in this choke down here? You want to kind of play this corner and keep kind of attacking them with the Rhine? You gotta do it, right? You gotta do it. You just win? Oh, I mean, maybe you don't push in this far. Oh, wait. Maybe you do. Maybe you are absolutely fearless. Maybe you have had your limbic system removed, and your amygdala has just received no inputs in the last 30 years. And you are fucking fearless. Okay, they go in, they use the sound barrier. They don't really find anything at all. But they've forced the charge onto more of a Hanzo comp. So they've made Happy's life a bit more difficult. Oh my god, they're actually kind of pooing. I don't know why I'm getting my hopes up. I know that they lose this map. I know they lose this map, but god damn are they making it good. They're making this last map entertaining, at least. They're going out with a bang. Fearless is so good. Which is why it annoys me how bad his Orisa has been in this meta. Because it's not that difficult or complex. You just need to try and put Fleta in the best positions possible. Instead of playing for map control. Play for space. Space for Fleta to do his work. Oh god. Oh god, oh god. He's about to dominate. Oh, he's gonna die. Oh, the immortality field. Immortality field? Oh no, never mind. Okay. Nice eventual play from the charge. The dragons are making it difficult for sure. Wow, I mean, where did they push to again? They pushed just before checkpoint B. Oh, rush comps become pretty difficult to get value out of on checkpoint B. It's pretty hard. You have to kind of pin them into a choke. Charge of Blizzard as well. And the Hanzo is just free farming from above. Void goes over to the Diva. Speed boost engage. Oh, great defensive wall. Great defensive wall from Eileen. Happy's Hanzo is also really good.
60 seconds remaining.
Fearless on the high ground. Can he drop on them and get one last shatter? They gotta back it up. They can't fight in that choke. Not against a supercharger. Great kiting. They've got to kind of wait it out. I wish there was more players with Fearless and Fleta right now. I wish there were more players with Fearless and Fleta. Dragon Strike to zone people out. Bob straight in. He's going to block the payload for a while. That's good. Buys him a bit of time. Fleta's going to have Blizzard, but he's getting zoned out. Void up on the high ground. Bob's disappeared, so now Void has to take over. Shatter in the back onto Rio, but I don't think that's enough. Oh, the beat comes out from Lee J Gon, but it's not a good Blizzard counter. Chara in the back lines. Oh no, he's killed Lee J Gon. This is where it all ends. This is where it all ends. It was a good run, Shanghai. It was a good run. But if you can't play the meta comp, you ain't winning the tournament. Ah, well, they went out with a bang. But at the end of the day, it wasn't good enough. Chara booped Fearless. Did he actually? Was that a sick play from Chara? Let's have a look. Let's relive the final 30 seconds and imagine what could have been. Fearless playing the LH Cloudy style of Reinhardt. Flanks around the back. Skadoosh. Oh, so unlucky that he didn't get Shu there as well. If he had got Shu, there would have been no immortality field. Oof. Just too much high ground control from the Guangzhou charge. Too many large ultimates as well. The tank ults are just so powerful. The supercharger really is crazy good. Oh, thoughts on DM's Ashe? I don't think DM's Ashe was bad. I think that his Widowmaker's better though. I don't think there is any argument that you can make that DM is the reason that they lost this series. I don't think there is a single argument to be had that DM is the reason that they lost that series. I refuse to believe it. I think that you have to point fingers at Fearless's Orisa and Halt usage in particular. And Fleta's Genji. It wasn't up to snuff. The whole team on double shield is worse. No, it's not about double shield though. The dragons are very good at double shield. They're just not good at double shield Genji. To say that the dragons are bad at double shield is to, I don't know, rewrite the whole of the last month where they've been dominating with double shield. They don't understand the difference between double shield Tracer comps and double shield Genji comps. Double shield Genji plays very differently. But I do think that part of it is because Void loves to flank, so he's not always there to shut down the enemy Genji. But more importantly, Fearless's halt timings, don't know why he doesn't use them to combo with Fleta more often. Fearless's positioning, I don't think, is aggressive enough to be able to buy space for Fleta. And at the end of the day, if you wanted to point a finger at one individual, it would have to be at Fleta. It would have to be at his Genji play because it was passive. He didn't ask for these resources from his team. He needs to demand these resources. And his Genji just didn't cut the mustard. And it wasn't that Fleta was bad. He just didn't play a good style at all. Way too cautious. Held his blade for hours upon hours. Didn't get the halts. Didn't get the space. He wasn't the focal point of their team. The focal point of their team was still Fearless and Void. And that doesn't make any sense, does it? Doesn't make any sense. Yeah, he needs the Ben Best Orisa, but he also needs someone to slap him on the back and tell him, chin up, son. Go on. Get out there. Give it your best shot. Give it the old college try, as Super would say. I think it's like a combination of Fleta and the coaches. Because I don't think Fleta is bad at Genji. I think he's just playing it wrong. I think they can fix these issues as well, per Renegade. I agree. Fleta's Genji mechanics are not the issue. It's his aggression. It's his timing. It's his like instincts of when to go in and when to go out. I think he still thinks this is 2018, but you can get away with way more with these Genji buffs. You can play like a fucking maniac. And he just never did at any point. What has the big sad Knight 69 been spamming? What has he been spamming? I haven't even seen it, Drew. I live in my own little world where these things don't even register to me. Fleta is quite a passive player in general. You're right, Supreme Leader Boa. It is his natural tendency to be the secondary DPS on the team. To be the more passive, resource, like low resource kind of player. I think someone needs to really shake up his Genji playstyle. I absolutely agree with Supreme Leader Boa. I think that Fleta is normally a flanky, low resource kind of team player. He's not normally a carry player. He's like a supportive DPS. After this map, please go back if you have time to Anubis 235 on the Dragon's attack point B. Okay, let's have a look. Guangzhou charge versus the Dragons. Anubis, Dragons attack. So they're currently on attack. And it's 235 on point B. Okay. 235 on point B. So that's quite a long way into it, isn't it? Alright, so what had happened? Okay, so the Dragons only needed one more tick. That was what was the case, wasn't it? And we're watching DM's point of view. And he just comes off the spawn. And he's getting spawn camped by Happy. Who, why in the fucking Lord's name is Happy there?
I needed that.
did Happy get there? When did Happy get there? Why did Happy get there? Just to spawn camp DM? What a weird fucking play. In the meantime, the whole of the dragons have taken this left-hand flank, and they're trying to push in with the flux. And this is where Eileen just bopped Fleta. Chara hit him with a bash, and he just demolishes Fleta with the blade. And they push in. Aggressive blade. Very powerful if the rest of your team are willing to push with it. If the rest of your team, like Rio and like Krong, are willing to say, yes, Eileen, be the focal player. We will give you resources and we will push forwards afterwards and take the space that you give us. Ah, what a cool way of playing. It would be cool if the Dragons had ever done that, even a single time. In the meantime, yeah, you've just got this clown fiesta happening in the back, but I don't think it made any difference, actually. I mean, did it? If DM was free shooting from up here, but he wouldn't have been free shooting, he still would have had to worry about Happy. But he could have taken an angle. I don't know. Maybe it made a bit of a difference. Maybe DM would have been able to get a kill in the middle of that team fight. But I mean, there's nothing the DM could do. There's nothing the DM could have done once he's getting spawn camped by the Widow. You have to take the fight. You can't just ignore him. So, yeah. DM did nothing wrong. I massively disagree on your Fleta Tracer take, and I've watched his POV. I think it's probably the opposite. He's borderline top 5 Tracer. His stats are insane, his aim is insane, his movement's insane. I don't think, though, I think that he's always the follow-up guy. Or the flanking guy. And I'm not saying that he's bad, but he's... My point to do with Fleta's Tracer and his Genji is that he is not... If you put him in a Tracer meta where he has to duel... Like, okay, most of the examples are going to come from the NA region because they've been playing the most Tracer metas. But, like, if he has to duel a Yaki or a Shax in order to... Or a Striker even to get in the first place, or a Dante or Decay or any of these guys, I give the advantage to those guys most of the time. I think Fleta's got fantastic timing on his flanks and everything, and he's well coordinated with the rest of his team. But that doesn't mean that he's like a carry Tracer. He's played Tracer against Prophet and Sabiobi, etc., and stomped them. He hasn't. I mean, part of the reason that the Seoul Dynasty did so well in their match against the Shanghai Dragons in the main melee was because Prophet was tearing apart on Tracer. I'm actually not sure. I can't really remember Fleta playing against Sabiobi, but I don't think that's happened. Oh, yeah, I need to stop eating Pringles. Beth's cooking dinner. I can't remember if he ever played against Sabiobi, but I specifically remember him playing against Prophet, and Fleta did not win that. And Shanghai themselves have been playing quite a lot of Torbjorn so far this year, which is what you do if you don't want to take the Tracer 1v1s. So I think there's like the amount of Torb that the Dragons have been running is also a bit of an admittal that they don't want to go toe-to-toe in the Tracers against some of these other players. And I don't think that there's a problem with Tracer, with Fleta's Tracer. It's just... It's a team play kind of Tracer. And he's a team player kind of Genji. Whereas people like Prophet and Striker and Shax are just going to bully their way into your backlines and start making plays. Which, Fleta does make plays, but it's more like by sneaking in rather than bullying in. That's what I see when I watch their POVs. It happened when they 3-0'd NYSL in the May Melee. Sabiobi, when he actually played Tracer and Anubis, was dominating Fleta. I must admit, I can't really remember the series, so I can't say for sure either way. Rank all Tracers in the league? No. And yeah, I think that's the That really is like one of the best ways of summing up what I see as the problem with the Shanghai Dragons right now, is that Fleta is a team player in a solo carry kind of meta. It's you rarely get metas like this where one player is supposed to take all of the resources and deliver big results. But this is one of those rare metas right now. And Fleta's style does not suit it.